Hi, in this video, we will discuss about understand the URL. Okay, in our day-to-day life, we will browse so many URLs and we will browse so much of content by using that URL. So, but most of the people don't understand what is that exact URL, how it is constructing, how it is working, how many parts are there in the particular URL. Okay, so we will discuss all these things in this video. So first, we'll see what is URL. So URL, the full form of URL is Uniform Resource Locator. Okay, URL means Uniform Resource Locator. And what exactly it means? It is a string of characters, right? It is a string of characters that identifies the location of a resource, on the internet. So you're identifying something, google.com, facebook.com, okay, gmail.com, something like that. You identifies a resource on the internet which you want. And third point is a typical URL consists of several components. Okay, several components including protocol, comma, subdomain, comma, domain, and then IP address. Domain or IP address, we can say any one of these things. So domain or IP address, port number, and this port number is optional, and path, query parameters, and fragments. Okay, so till now we said that URL, and people will use URLs to browse something on the internet. But a typical URL consists of these many things: protocol, subdomain, domain, port number, path, query parameters, fragments. These many things will have. So we'll try to discuss all these things: what is protocol, what is subdomain, and domain, port number, path, query parameters, fragments. Okay, by taking few examples, we'll see all these things in this video. Okay, so first, let me take one example. You see that here I have taken one sample URL. So https :/www.sub.domain.com :port /search !q is equal to example #reviews. Okay, so in this, whatever we discussed here, protocol, subdomain, domain, all these things, which part it is in this URL. Okay, so for this, so this HTTPS, okay, you will see HTTP or HTTPS, any one of these things. So this is called protocol. Okay, this is protocol. You can see here a protocol. And after www dot, we have sub. Here, this is subdomain. Means this is my actual domain. So before that, you put a dot and put something that is called subdomain. And whatever you say normally, google.com, facebook.com, gmail.com, that is exactly called, that is domain. Okay, and colon port. So port is a port, and slash. After the slash, if you have anything, that is called path. So this is called path. And after that, if you have any question mark like this, after question mark, if you have anything, that is called query parameters. Okay, q is equal to example is a query parameter. After that, if you have a hash symbol, this hash symbol, and if you have something there, that is called fragment. So this is how we will divide our URL into these many parts. It's a protocol, subdomain, domain, path, query parameter, and fragment. Okay, so now we'll try to understand each and everything in the URL, and we'll see one example. So first part is what? Protocol. So if you talk about the protocol, so the protocol specifies method used to access the resource. Okay, the protocol is specifies the method used to access the resource, and the common protocols which are used. Common protocols which are used, say HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, and SMTP. Okay, but in our normal day-to-day life, we'll use HTTP and HTTPS. These both will normally use. And then, if you take an example for this, okay, if you take an example, normally you take google.com. The moment when you type, sorry, this is a typo. You see that? Here you see HTTPS. The first part is HTTPS, because this protocol it is using. And if you take another example, I'll take some other URL. If you take this, you see this is saying not secure, and this is HTTP. Even it is not even showing. If you type HTTP colon, so it will go to the same location. What is HTTP colon info dot this one. Even though if you put HTTP and it is not showing here, and it is saying not secure. S means secured. HTTPS, the S tells secured. If it is not there, it is a not secured website. Okay, this website is using HTTP protocol, and this is HTTPS protocol. Okay, and then now, and the second part. Okay, first is what is subdomain? Okay, if you talk about subdomain, a subdomain in a URL, uniform resource locator, right, is a subset of the main domain. Okay, it is a subset of main domain that is used to organize and categorize the content within a website. So if you want to categorize with the same URL and you want to show some different content, okay, that time you will use subdomain. So let's take an example. I'll take automation testing.in. Okay, this is my actual main website. Okay, but I want some subdomains in this. So that time what I did, so before the actual domain name, you put subdomain name. Dev is a subdomain. When you type, when you hit enter, you see it will go to another location, means another uh, kind of content you want to organize, or you want to what do you say, like categorize. But it is comes under the same automation testing.in only. If this website is stopped working, obviously this website is also will stop working. This is subset of this actual automation testing.in. Okay, so if you take another one, like in this only we have one more demo dot. It's another website. If you go to another website called practice, So these are all subdomains under the main domain. If this automation testing.in is not working, then automatically this subdomains also stops working. You see, this is another website. Okay. So this is actual website. You can say here, if I take these websites, this is actual, and these are all subdomains. Okay. So if you take one more, this is practice. So this main domain contains 3 different subdomains. One starts with dev, one starts with demo, one starts with practice. Okay. So this is a subset of the main. And if I want to organize something and I want to give a separate URL to that content, so I choose different subdomains. Okay. So it is located where? At the beginning of the URL. Okay. Beginning of the URL before the actual domain, and it is separated by a dot. Right. That is what we did here. Dev dot, demo dot, practice dot, just before the actual domain. Okay. And subdomains can be used for what? For various purposes. Okay. Various purposes. Such as we can say creating a separate section. Okay. Separate section of a website for different topics, we can say, and languages or regions. Okay. If you want to take another example, like if you want to take another example, let me take one example here. So in the Wikipedia, you see that en.wikipedia means it is English. If you change this to en to some de, so it will become German website. You see, it is in English, but you cannot read like English. It is a separate language. It's a German language. So with the help of this subdomain, this Wikipedia is separating his content like English content, German content, something like that. Okay. So this is one of the examples. Like I want to separate my website with different languages. Then I can use subdomains. Okay. So instead of en, if you put de, it's a German website. But the same wikipedia.org only. Okay. This is all about subdomain. Okay. Now domain. This is the domain name or IP address. Sometimes people use IP address, but domain name is simple to remember. Identifies the server hosting the resource. Okay. Identifies the server hosting the resource. Like if it is google.com, the google.com is a main domain. Okay. https://www.google.com. Okay. https://www. What is it like? Facebook.com. So in this google.com, facebook.com is a main domain. By with the help of this main domain, it will identify a URL normally. Okay. And the other part is port number, and which is optional. This is not mandatory, but this is also part of your URL. Okay. The port number is used to specify a specific network. service, specific network service running on the server. Okay, right. The port number is used to specify a specific network service running on the server. If a port number is not specified, normally we will not specify. The reason is this is optional. Okay, if it is not specified or specified in the URL, what happens? The default port number. Okay, default port number for the protocol. So we discussed that protocol HTTP, HTTPS. Okay, protocol is used. Okay, what is that? Okay, for HTTP, default protocol, sorry, default port number. What is that? 80. Okay, for HTTP, yes. So default port number. What is that? 443. If you mention, it will use that. If you are not mentioning, indirectly, it is using these port numbers by default. So we'll try. We'll try 443. So we already discussed it. It is where it will be. You go here after your domain google.com :port. Okay, :port. What is that? 443. You see that it is going to the same website and it is changing to again google.com. But really it is working or not? Okay, we'll try to give :80. 80 is for what? HTTP protocol, not for HTTPS. So if I use this one, you see that it is not going away and it is saying the connection for the website is not secure. Some other information is coming. Okay, but if you mention 443, you see that it is navigating to that particular URL. And same way we'll try to use the non-secure, that is HTTP protocol. If I give 443, you see that bad request it is saying. If I give 80 here, you see that 80 is it's not showing and it is navigating to that particular URL. So by default, it will use for HTTP :80, for HTTPS :443. That is optional. Because of that, we are not showing in the URL. Right. So that is all about port number. And what is the next part? Okay, path. What is path? So the path identifies the location of the resources on the server. If you want to access a particular resource on that particular server, then we can use path. Okay, the path include multiple levels of directories. Okay, separated by slash. Okay, separated by slash. If you take an example, if you go to browser and if you paste here, you see stackoverflow.com/questions. Okay, you see that it is. I want to go to the all the question section in my Stack Overflow. If you remove this, you see it is the home page of your Stack Overflow. Okay, it is Stack Overflow. But I want to go to a particular location, particular resource, or particular location in this particular website. Then I can put direct that in the URL. That is called path. That is after this slash. Okay, after this slash. So that is called path. So all question section it went. Okay, if you click on products, You see that? Slash advertising. This advertising is a path. It is navigating to a separate resource. You see that? In the advertising slash audience. So this is in the advertising, this is a separate section. Okay, separate resource. Right. So this is how we can directly access this. Till here, this is one level. Till advertising, this is one level. The path includes multiple levels. So in the advertising, if you want to go to audience resource, you need to mention one more slash and put that. Inside this, if you have another resource, you can put slash and you can mention that also. So it will directly navigate to that particular section or resource, you can see. Okay, this is all about path. And the next part is query parameters. Okay, query parameters. So query parameters are used to pass information to the server that can be used to modify the resource or retrieve additional information. Okay. Let me take one example. So I want to filter my what you say search, or I want to filter something with the help of my URL. Then we can use query parameters. So if you go to this location, you see that normally what I'll do, let me remove this, google.com. So here I can say, what is URL? Normally I'll do like this, but I want to do this with the help of URL only. So that time what I'll do, you see that? You can say like this. You see google.com/search is path, and you have a question mark. After question mark, whatever you mentioned, that is called query parameters. Here, Q is equals to what is URL, means I am filtering, I am refining my, what do you say, like the navigation, you can say. So if I say directly, it is good to what is URL. If I want to say here, Q is equals to what is Google. Okay, I'm saying what is Google. You see that? What is Google? Directly it is coming. Right. So this is to refine your, what is it, like if you are using Google, you are refining your query, search. What you want to search, you are using here. Okay. And then, so if I take one example like this, so if you have any spaces, then it will replace with this %20. Okay. So don't bother about that. So google.com/search is a, what is that? Search is a path. We just discussed here, Stack Overflow code advertising. Okay. And after question mark, whatever you mentioned, that is called parameters. Okay. So what is that? Query parameters are specified after the path and separated by question mark. Okay. And each query parameter consists of a name and a value. Okay. And that is separated by, what is that? Equal symbol. Okay, here here what is that? Q is equals what is URL, right? So Q after this question mark, what is that? Name and value. What is the name of that query parameter? Q, and value is what is URL. Okay, so this is my query parameter. Okay, and multiple query parameters also possible, can be separated by an ampersand symbol and symbol. Okay, so there is no rule that you'll have only one query parameter. You can have multiple parameters. Okay, so let me take one example here. So I'll say amazon.in. Okay, so in the amazon.in, if you put a slash yes, okay, so that is for search, but it is not working here, but slash yes, slash, not slash, query parameter says question mark, K is equals to shoes. Then you hit enter, directly it will go to the shoes section. Okay, it will go to directly shoes section. Right, that is one query parameter. And this is in which page? By default, it is on first page. But I want to go to the 7th page or 5th page. So I can put another query parameter by mentioning and symbol, ampersand, and page is equals to 5 and hit enter. Now if you go down, you see that now it is highlighted 5th page. So we can put multiple query parameters like this. Means you are refining your browsing. Okay, so this is query parameters, and another one is fragment. Okay, you go to the fragment specifies a specific section of the page to display. So subdomain means it's a separate section of the website itself, but fragment is a separate or specific section on that particular web page. Okay, so if you take one example, so with the help of this one, if you go to this here in the, okay, let me go to any shoe, and in this particular section, okay, and you identify this, I'll put on a notepad. So till here we have that main domain, and then a path and query parameters. You see keywords is equal something like that, and at the end you have PSC is equals to 1. But if I click on this ratings, okay, if I click on this ratings on the same web page, you see on the same web page, if I click on this, it went to the review section of that particular web page. Okay, if I now I take the URL and if I paste here, you see that in the last after PSC hash customer reviews. So on the same web page, but if you want to go to a particular section, we can use fragment. Okay, so fragment is identified with what? Or separated, what is it? By hash symbol. Okay, fragment is separated by hash symbol at the end of your URL. You see that? This is what. Okay, so if you observe this one, this HTTPS is a protocol and amazon.in is a domain. We do not have any subdomain here. After that slash, so all these things are paths. Till here, one path. After that, DP is a separate path. and inside that is a separate path until this. Okay, from here to here. Okay, this is path. First path, second path, third path. 3 levels are there. And after that, you have a question mark. After question mark, whatever comes as query parameter. Keywords is equal to shoes. QID is equal to something else. Okay. And PSC is equals to 1 and TH is equals to 1, something like that. Different query parameters with the help of AND symbol. Okay. And at the end, you have hash symbol. After that, whatever you have called fragment. This is how you can, what you say, like categorize your URL. These many things are there in the URL. Right. So now at the end, you can say what is base URL. Okay, that is what we are interested in actually. The base URL is the portion of the URL that contains protocol, comma, domain name and port number. Okay, if specified or optional. Specified or optional. Okay, what is that? It does not include the path or query parameters. Okay, so what is that? https colon google.com, https facebook.com. So normally in our day-to-day life, which URL will normally use? Base URL. We'll say go to google.com, go to facebook.com, something like that. Okay, so this is actually base URL normally in the day-to-day life will use. Right. So this is all about a URL which we normally use in our day-to-day life. There are several parts in that. Right. So that is categorized like this: protocol, subdomain, domain, port, path, query parameters, fragment, all these things. Right. In this, what exactly we need for a particular website? Base URL, that is domain.com. That's it. So HTTP or HTTPS browser automatically takes. If you are not giving also, that is the reason we'll not normally use. But normally what you say, HTTP colon google.com, HTTPS colon facebook.com, something like that will go there. So, but subdomain is, it depends upon the website, which you use, but it is not mandatory. But some websites will have subdomains to categorize their content. But normally domain.com is port is optional. These are all to refine your browsing, search, query parameters, path parameters, all these things are fragment. These are refine your what you say, like browsing. But normal browsing is just domain.com. In this entire thing, the website what you call is domain.com. That's it. Okay. So this is all about the URL which you normally use in your browsing. Okay. So that's all in this video. Thank you for watching this video. Please like the video, share the video. If you like the content, please comment your thoughts in the comment section and subscribe to the channel for interesting updates. Thank you.